All right, we are recording.
Perfect.
So this is Team Fabulous Futures, and we are recording our best business advice.
I would say my best piece of advice would be, I feel like I have a lot of different things that run through my head when you ask for best business advice. And the one thing would be to show up. And that can mean show up to events, show up to a call, show up to, a potluck or a salad in a jar party, but it also can mean, to me, it can mean just show up for your life. So much of our time is spent. I loved at the training that when you had that training in Fredericksburg where someone said that he's even heard people say things as ridiculous as I can't come because my goldfish is sick, and I have heard probably every excuse in the book why people can't make a three-way call. They can't come to an event. They're just so tired. They just can't come across the street to a salad in the jar party where all they have to do is sit. I have heard excuse after excuse after excuse. And I've also made them myself. I've made excuses for why I couldn't do things or why I couldn't show up for things. And it really comes down to, I just don't want to, And honestly, for me, I would rather at this point tell you, Ariel, I don't want to come to your salad in a jar party, than make some excuse for why I can't come. You know what I mean? Because there's always we can all find a reason why we're not going to show up for something or why we're not going to do something. But the bottom line is because we just don't want to. It's not a priority. It's not that important to us. We have things we'd rather do. And so we come up with all of these stories that we tell other people for why we can't do stuff. And really, it's just, we just really don't want to. It's not a priority in our life. And I'm in school full time, as some of you know, and if Jen is on this call, she's in school with me full time, plus she's in college on top of the other school that we're in. And my schedule is really busy. And I'm telling you, I could find a reason every single day not to go to school. It would not be hard for me to find a reason why I don't want to get up and drive to Northern Virginia and go to school. But it's a priority. It's something I've committed to. It's something that I've decided that I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to complete this program. And so, come Friday morning, I am so tired that I feel like I'm going to die by Friday morning. And by Friday evening, all I want to do is come home. I am so, so tired. But I still get up and go every week because it's important to me. It's a priority. And our business, I think, is the same way. If it's not a priority for us, we're not going to do it. And that's the bottom line. If it's not important to us, we're not going to do it. If we don't see value in it, we're not going to do it. If we don't think that other people really want to hear about it, we're not going to do it. So I think that for me, that's been the biggest thing I've had to learn is to make it a priority. To make, even if it's just that 10 minutes that you have because your schedule is busy, make that little bit of time a priority and show up. Show up for your life, show up for your customers, show up for your business, show up for your family. And that would be my number one takeaway. And if you don't want a team full of excuse makers, and if you don't want a customer base full of excuse makers, then you have to not be an excuse maker, because your team is going to do what you do, and you're going to attract the type of people that are like you. And so if you're someone who's excited and who shows up for things, and more than likely your team's going to do that. Now that's not 100%, across the board, because I know that Ariel shows up for everything, and 80% of her team doesn't show up for anything. So, that's.
But you guys do, because you're all here.
Yeah, we do. But we're like the people. But you know what I'm saying. You and I have had this discussion many times, and so that would be my number one thing: is be the type of distributor, be the type of customer that you want, because then you're going to attract that into your life. And then the other thing is, I spent years when I was in corporate America as a sales rep and an account manager. And in order to sell stuff to people, whether it's Juice Plus or a hair product or, you know, a photocopier or whatever it is that you might be selling, you have to have a relationship with these people. And they have to feel like you care about them and that you're invested in them to some degree, because people buy from people they like. People buy from people they trust. People buy from people they feel like they are connected to or can relate to. And so that's why, you know, this is a relationship business, and we know that. We're told that in our trainings, but, you know, if we tend to be shy, that could be hard for us. I'm not a shy person, but I used to be a shy person until whether or not we had food on the table depended on me talking to people, because that's what I did for a living. And I had to learn to talk to people. I had to learn to come out of my shell and find rapport with people. And I think Juice Plus is a lot of that same type of skill set. Is you have to learn how to talk to people and just be interested. You know, if you don't know what to say, ask questions, ask people about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. You know, if you ask somebody a lot of questions about themselves, they'll love you. They'll think you're the most great person in the whole world. And it's because you spent time trying to find stuff out about them. That's number one rule of sales, is ask questions about people. What do you do for a living? How many kids do you have? Where'd you go to school? What's your favorite color? You know, people love to talk about themselves. So if you find it hard, then just ask people questions about themselves. And then once you find that common ground and you have that commonality with them, then you have something that you can talk about with them. And that's how you build relationship and build rapport with people. And then last but not least would be, don't be afraid to be told no. You know, people are going to tell you no all the time. And I said that on our Voxer chat a couple of weeks ago. And it's really, you gave that book out, you know, Go for the No. And that's really the case. And no doesn't mean, no, I don't like you. No, I hate you. No, I think you're a horrible jerk because you're trying to sell me fruits and vegetables. It just means no. That's all it is. And it's not that, I mean, my kids tell me no all the time. You know what I mean? It's not a big, scary word. But I think we feel, I know for me, when I first got into sales, hearing no felt personal. It felt like a personal rejection, and it's really not. You know, there's some people are jerks and they're going to be mean to you because that's just who they are. But the majority of people are not. The majority of people are just saying no to your product right now. And I mean, I told you no 20 or 30 times before I said Juice Plus. So that would be my thing, is just don't be afraid to ask people. Don't be afraid to mention what you have, because we have an awesome product that can help a lot of people. So don't be afraid to share that with people, and don't be afraid to offer them the gift of health. You know, you're not trying to scam them with some, you know, you're not trying to sell them a $200 product that's, you know, filled with plastic and herbicides. It's a good product. So, you know, don't feel afraid to offer people the chance to feel better and to feel healthy and to feel energetic. And don't let yourself use fear to rob people of that. So that would be my, you know, those are the things I've learned so far in my journey.
Thank you, Heather. I especially like what you said about, you know, don't worry about people saying no, because, you know, sometimes there's certain people, we say they're on our chicken list, and I'll get a little bit fearful or anxious about talking to them about the product or the business. And then I think, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no, they're not interested. And who cares, right? You know, then I shared it with them. You know, I shared a good product with them, or I gave them a compliment, which is basically telling them I want them on my team. So it's a win-win situation. So thank you for sharing that. And because this is being recorded, I just want to, before Kristen shares, we didn't record it when Leslie shared. So I just want to say how proud I am of her. And when I look at her and her business, I've heard before that a leader is someone who's going to do this with or without you. And that's what I see in Leslie. She's down in Richmond and she's not near me. She's near Callie, so she does some events with Callie, but she really gets events on the calendar and she takes ownership of her business. So she's doing these events without me. And I really admire that because she's taken that ownership of her business and her volume is through the roof. So she has a really great customer base. And so I just want to give that shout out to Leslie. So
thank you.
And that was, of course, I love that you're on my team. So thanks to Callie. Trish is under me. And so thanks to Trish knowing Carolyn, and then Carolyn knowing Leslie, I get to have Leslie on my team. So I'm really fortunate to have Leslie. So I definitely see Leslie as a leader. So thank you, Leslie.
Thank you for leading us.
Of course. It's such a, it's so fun when you have a team to be able to pour into your team. And, I know you guys say thank you to me a lot, but it's really fun. And I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. So it's really fun once you start getting a team and being able to pour into them. And I wouldn't be able to do what I love without you all. So Kristen, would you be willing to share your best business advice?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Or am I mute? Okay. Well, I guess coming into this, I really didn't know what to expect. And I really wasn't all into it at first. I knew that I wanted to be able to share with people, but it was more like on the side mission. And I made a decision that I wouldn't share Juice Plus if I couldn't share Jesus with them, because being a pastor's wife, my mission in life is to share Christ. And I think that this really goes hand in hand with sharing the gospel. And I find a lot of similarities with it because there's that fear that what are they going to say or how are they going to think of me? So don't be afraid because you have something that they don't have. And some of them might have it. Some of them might take Juice Plus. I asked one person that I thought would be great. She's a nurse practitioner, and she's like, oh, yeah, I already take it. So you can't be afraid of what they're going to say. So make it your mission. Believe in yourself and believe in the product. I think we have a great leader in Ariel. She's constantly reminding us of how great we are and really showing us the appreciation and the acknowledgement to help us keep going even when we have bad weeks, bad months. So I really appreciate that in her. So just remind yourself that you can do it and that this is a great product to share. And I have to write things down, so I wrote it down, which you can read on Facebook if you really want the full version. And listen to what people say. A lot of the customers that I have, it's because I listen to what they say and just pick up on just a small word about their health. And this weekend I had 3 new orders just because I was listening to what they say and linked it to Juice Plus, and they were ready to get it right away. Now I have a little bit of a different story than both Leslie and Heather because I've had a lot of great interactions with people initially and they are ready right away. So I think a lot of it comes down to having a rapport with them. That's probably why I've had better luck. I don't know, I'm not saying Leslie and Heather don't have good rapport with people because I'm sure that's not true. But the people that I have targeted first are the people that I really enjoy being around. Hopefully they enjoy being around me. I've got 2 right next to me. Laurie's here too. See, I've got 2 friends that are right here with me. So I think, I don't know, enjoy it. Make it so you enjoy it. I think it's easiest for me because I have 5 children, and there's a lot of times when I don't see success in the home. You think you've overcome one hurdle, and then all of a sudden you have another one to jump. But with the business, I've really enjoyed seeing quick changes, quick results, not only with me and the product, but with moving from one step to the next in a much quicker pace than I would have expected. So be consistent, be persistent, and faithful. You know what your story is. Know your story, know your why. You hear that all the time, but the more that I do this, the more I realize how true that is. If you know why you're doing it, it's easier to do. You believe in the product yourself because you're taking it. So don't be afraid to share that with others, and really do listen. If you pick up words here and there, pick up that somebody's been sick or they have a family member that has cancer, it's so easy to share because you know that you have something that they need, and be willing to get uncomfortable. I think that this has caused me to do text blitzes and things that I would have never imagined doing. But I was challenged to do it. And now, of course, I have Ariel, who's been giving these lovely challenges with bingo and other things. And I kind of thrive on that. To really take advantage of the great leader that we have in Ariel and utilize the resources that she has. Find the resources, know what they are and who they are, and use them. And that's probably what I'd say. I mean, I have practical things that I've done, but I don't know kind of things you need to see. I made a notebook and I keep myself organized. If you're organized, you'll know who you've talked to and who you'd like to target, what you've done. I do keep a DMO because otherwise with 5 kids I would lose my head and probably contact the same 10 people 100 times instead of making a new. I have a contact list of the people on my cell phone, so that's how I did it. I guess that's probably about it though.
Yeah, thank you, Kristen, for sharing. And thank you for the reminder about bingo. So I did email all of you the bingo that we're doing this month. And so if you want to take that out, and then really the prize is in doing the activity that's on the bingo. And then I just give the extra prize at the end. But really, you win by doing the activity in the bingo. So it's just for extra fun. And then I love what you said, Kristen, about getting out of your comfort zone, because really, you know, and what they said at the Saturday training that we had a few weeks ago is really caring about people more than staying comfortable. And really that's what our mission is about, is caring about people and having that moral obligation, because we have something that can save their life. I always remember about that, the quote in Time magazine that said, it's not that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they can save your life. And we have something that's so important for people, and our mission is inspiring healthy living around the world. So again, it's that, you know, when I feel that anxiety and I'm a little bit nervous about sharing with people, it's just getting out of your comfort zone, and what's the worst thing that can happen. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. And Kristen is really organized. She is on top of things. I love that she has her notebook. So we only have about 10 minutes left, and Allison is on. So I want to switch to Allison and let her take up our last 10 minutes. Thank you so much, Allison, for being on. I know you've had a crazy long day.
Oh, sorry, I'm probably causing more of a distraction than I'm worth, getting on with Bentley here with me and just popping in the frame. But I wrote a couple notes, and I really appreciated hearing the end of what Kristen said. And
Would you sleep?
Can you hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Sorry I'm getting on late, but did you just want me to share a couple practical tips like Kristen did?
Yeah, just like your best business advice for us.
Well, coming off of residency qualifier today and going for a really big goal, just a couple things that popped in my head today. Something I heard a few months ago, and it just really rang true for me as I've been going for the senior sales promotion, is to talk to a lot of people and just cast a really wide net, so you don't feel like you're pushing anyone when it comes down to it, and you're not, you know, all your eggs aren't in one basket, basically. And I have just been talking to so many people over the last 3 months, and you know, I didn't even really start going for this promotion in January, but in January I knew I was going to want this promotion, so I really started widening my net and just making connections then, so I wouldn't have to feel pressure later down the line. And while I still did feel some pressure, you know, this month and finishing up some of those things, I felt like it was a lot easier to move on from no's, because I had such a long list of people that I was still following up with. So yeah, just talking to a lot of people, so you don't feel like you're pressuring, you know, like 3 people into it. And you can just, I feel like that way I could be really, you know, just like, okay, well, thanks for listening, and then come back to them later, instead of like really pushing them to a point of aggravation, or like, no, I like don't want to do this right now. And then, you know, the same old events, you know, I've never walked away and regretted having an event. So we had a lot of events over the past 3 months, but even this month, and even some where I was like, well, I don't know if people are coming and I don't know what's going to happen. And even if it was the sideline and it was just my sideline had people coming, it still was encouraging for my team to be there and kind of just, once again, remember the positive culture of our business and these people that we get to do life with. And even if we weren't selling product to other people, we were still encouraging each other in the business and hearing others' health stories. So just events. And then one thing I've really had to do this month is just to really let go and to stand confident in the baby steps. And sometimes it would be nice if our momentum was just like continual, we just kept going and we just got from A to Z, no problem. But a lot of times, we see those graphics where you're just kind of like, this is the ride, and to just kind of let go and accept that and know that the baby steps are getting you there. And I know sometimes, especially in my business, I feel like it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And it's just all about, letting go and not focusing on the 1 step back, but focusing on, the 2 steps forward and focusing on all the good that's happening. Because you can, it's really your perspective. You can choose to look at it either way. And, I could choose to see a couple of customers who canceled this month, or I could choose to see all the customers who I added this month, and just really where my, what my focus is. So that's kind of all I had thinking about today. You're muted. I can't hear you.
It reminds me, I was saying thank you so much for sharing, and I love everything you shared, and thank you so much for getting on. But it reminds me of what Leanne says of, when we're talking to just a few people, it seems like work to us and pressure to them. But when we're talking to a lot of people, it's more fun for us, and it doesn't seem like pressure to them. And we always want to be growing wide, wide and deep, and just the power of events. And sometimes I don't feel like going to events, just like Heather said, but you're right. Like, I've never regretted going to an event. I never leave an event and say, gosh, that was so stupid. Like, I wish I could go to that, But thank you so much for getting on. You have so much valuable wisdom. Hi, Bentley. Thank you for sharing your mommy tonight. But thank you so much, everyone, for being on tonight. I so appreciate it. Does anyone have any other questions or anything to share?
I would just say that I do agree with events. I've had the most success when I've had people actually attend events. I've talked to people, and there's been a couple, and they weren't sure at first, and then after going to an event, they were ready to make a decision.
Yeah. Well, I would say there's definitely power in events. This is going to cut me off in about 4 minutes, but there's power in events, and I think Kristen has seen that because Linda and Kathy, who she brought to events, are both team members now, and I'm so glad to have them. And there's just so much that happens at events. You can't go to an event and then relay what you learned and the same effect to those people as you can when you bring them to the event and they see the power of our company and just what there is to offer, So anyway, I just want to remind you all that we have our team dinner tomorrow night at my house at 6 p.m. And Callie's coming to do some training and just fellowship with us, so I would love to have you there. And then I know Dr. Du Bois is on Wednesday, and that's kind of a far drive. I know that's kind of hard for you all. And then I'm planning a barbecue instead of a potluck on May 6th. So if you all can come and bring your people, that would be awesome. That will be at my house. So we have 3 minutes left if there's anything final. Otherwise, I want to respect everyone's time, and we can chat some more tomorrow night.
What's your best piece of advice, Ariel?
My best piece of advice would be really, getting to events, but also focusing on growing deep and wide. So really focusing on talking to as many people as possible, and not only writing your dream team, but planning on when and how you're going to talk to them and getting them on those 3-way calls. And I would say not resorting to 3-way calls, but that being your number one first thing you do is planning when you're going to talk to your dream team, and that being the first thing you do is asking them to get on a 3-way call. Not even trying to talk to them, but just getting them on that 3-way call. And that's really what I did in the beginning when I felt like I wasn't the expert. I knew I wasn't the expert. So I asked them initially if I wanted them on my dream team. Would you talk to my friend Debbie? Would you talk to my friend Callie? Does that help?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about for people that are brand new? What would you say the best thing you could tell someone who's brand new?
Brand new, I would say get on my YouTube channel and start watching those videos that are training, and get on Mission Driven Model and start watching those videos that are training, and just focus on doing your HLP and 2000 plus. You do not have to be an expert, because the HLP and 2000 plus are super easy. You know, it's already established. The system is already established for us. Put your order in and get 2 outside orders. That's your HLP. Then bring on a team member and start talking to people. It's that simple. Just start talking to people and focus on your dream team. You know, just set them up for success. Just focus on HLP 2000 plus.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I'm talking really fast. I'm watching the timers on my screen. We have a minute and 30 seconds. So I'm not trying to be short with anybody, but it's going to cut us off. So, but we can talk a lot more tomorrow night as well. And that's what the focus is going to be tomorrow night, is setting up our new team members for success and answering all those questions. And then also for you experienced people, Heather, Kristen, Leslie, if you want to be zoomed in, is talking about qualification, your next steps. I want to answer all those questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So Leslie,
Great.
if you want to be zoomed in after we eat and we're talking more about training, then I am happy to do that.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
What, Leslie?
I can't. Oh, am I muted?
Oh, I unmuted you. You can't make it tomorrow night?
No, sorry.
Okay.
I noticed that my sister got on. Janine, are you there? Maybe not.
Yes, but I'm pumping.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know if you're available tomorrow, but I can find a way to get you included too. You'll just have to text me and let me know.
Okay, ladies, I think it's going to cut me off, but we can talk more tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, thank you so
Bye.
much.
Ariel.
Bye.
Who is that?
Ariel.
What is that?